Hi everyone, I was inspired by Zealous Chuck, who's a really good YouTuber who covers the PS Vita. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. He's been doing some really good videos on ChatGPT and asking it questions about the PS Vita. So I thought I would ask ChatGPT, which is an AI chat tool, what are the top 100 PS Vita games? And the results were pretty interesting, pretty silly too, but I thought I'll go through the list on the video and we can check it out together. So, firstly, I asked it for the top 100 games, but actually it gave us 89 games. So it's the AI can't seem to get to 100. And there are way more than 100 Vita games, so I don't know why it wouldn't have picked them out. Interestingly, I don't know how it arrived at this list. I assume it would have pulled from different sources, like other top 10, top 100 lists on the internet, looking at Metacritic maybe. But somehow it's got games here that are not actually PS Vita games. So the first three, 89, 88, and 87, are arcade game series. These are actually not on the PS Vita, so that's a good start to the list. 86, and I'm not going to go through every single game here, but 86 Faerun. This is why it's interesting. This game does not have a score on Metacritic. It's only got 2 reviews. The reviews are not particularly positive, so I don't know why this would appear on the top 100 list. I don't know how it's making its decision that gets onto this list. 85 Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus. So Tokyo Xanadu is on the Vita, but the EX Plus version isn't. I wasn't a big fan of this game, but lots of people like it, so I can understand why Tokyo Xanadu would be on this list. And actually similar with Dragon's Crown Pro. Dragon's Crown is on the Vita, but the Pro version is PS4. It's a great game, and funnily enough, Dragon's Crown is on this list as well, higher up. So Dragon's Crown appears twice, which is a bit silly. 83 Felicia, the Legendary Moonlight Sculptor. I can't find this game on the Vita. I don't know if it released in Japan. Maybe it didn't, just because the different Japanese language, it's not letting me find this game. But Googling it, it's a Korean novel, so I don't know how that's on this list. Cladden Returns in 82 is great, by the way. Not enough people play it. I'm kind of glad that it's on this list. Somehow ChatGPT knows about this game more than most people. But it's an awesome game and I really recommend it. 81 Sky. Sky isn't on Vita. Don't know why that's here. The next few games from 80 to about, to 48 are all on the Vita. They've got lots of JRPGs, which is really cool. Some visual novels. It's a nice little mix of games, which actually, when you think about the Vita's library, there's JRPGs, indie games formed a big part of it. And so the AI has picked a lot of JRPGs, a lot of action RPGs, which is actually pretty good to see. So around this period of the list, it's actually quite accurate and quite a decent list. I wouldn't necessarily put all of these on my top 100 list, but it's got some good games there. Interestingly, number 54, World of Final Fantasy Maxima, that's not on the Vita. World of Final Fantasy is on the Vita, but Maxima isn't. That came on the Switch and PS4. Number 47, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. That's a PSP game, it's not a Vita game. 44, Batman Arkham Knight. That's a PS4 game. Blackgate was the Batman Arkham game on the Vita. Now, from 43 onwards, this is when the list is pretty accurate and actually pretty good. It's kind of the top 40 games here are actually all really decent games. And actually, this is where I'd say the list is actually pretty good. So actually, you've got number 35. You can see Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. That is there. So I don't know why Batman Arkham Knight appeared on this list as well. But, Unit 13, Sound Shapes, Plants vs. Zombies, all great games. Then moving up the list further, you've got Child of Light, Wipeout 2048, Freedom Wars, Danganronpa 1 and 2. I would have put these games a lot higher, but that's fine. Killzone Mercenaries is great. Rogue Legacy is great. LittleBigPlanet, Sound Shapes, Muramasa Rebirth, Dragon's Crown. These are all really good games. And when we get into the top 10, there's a really nice between indie games and AAA games. So we've got 5 indie games here. You've got Fez, Guacamelee, Spelunky, Shovel Knight, Hotline Miami. And then you've got the first party games like Gravity Rush, Uncharted and Tearaway. And then Rayman Legends and, in number 1, Persona 4 Golden, which even the AI knows that Persona 4 Golden is a brilliant game on the Vita. This is actually not a bad list in terms of a top 10. And like I said, the top 40 as well. There's a lot of great games here that I would pick out. When you have things like Killzone, Wipeout, Freedom Wars, and then even some really good indie games like Rogue Legacy, there's good games here. So I think the AI has done a pretty good job when it comes to top 40 Vita games. It's got a lot of mix. When you look at the kind of 50 to 80, it's got a lot of decent games in terms of JRPGs and action RPGs as well, visual novels. But it's got some really random items there as well, and non-Vita games there, some PS4 games. But I'd say a big chunk of this list is actually not too bad. I find it really interesting that the AI would pull information from the internet and somehow come up with this list. I find that really fascinating, but like I said, this is not a bad list if people wanted to go ahead and use that to pick some of the good games on the Vita to play. So guys, what are your thoughts on this top 89 Vita games list from ChatGPT AI? I mean, probably excluding the non-Vita games, it's probably about top 75 really. Do you think the top 10 represents some of the best games on the Vita? Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.